So, of course, he's a smart guy. And I guess they sold that for a few $100 million or whatever it was to HBO. Now they've kind of taken a new direction. But whatever. The point is that this is the real media right here. And I'm not in competition with somebody like Gavin McInnes. I love the fact he's out there bringing up different points, different angles, some of the same points, because this is a war. I want to beat these people. I don't want to be like Glenn Beck, the guy that has all the answers and knows everything and tells people he's Moses on the mountain. I want an army to defeat these people. I want to hit them from every angle because it gets to me personally. He'll be with us 30 minutes to the next hour, and then Anthony Cumia will continue on for another 30 minutes. But the two will be on together in the next 30 minutes as well after this hour ends. But, boy, it is just crazy the amount of news. They're saying they want to get rid of the grading system and get rid of below C-. Now, they always propose that. They're doing it now. They are announcing that they want to get rid of parents reading to their children at night, and because the family's bad, they're actually saying it on ABC News. I've got those articles. Gavin made a great point. He was on with Paul Watson last week. And I appreciate him joining us again this week. I had to take care of a family matter, and Paul sat in. He made a great point. He said they just want to blow up civilization because they can't compete with normal free market civilization. That's it. These people know what they're doing. And I want to ask Gavin a question. How high up, though? I mean, we know the top engineers know this. They write white papers on it in textbooks. This is admitted. They give ABC News interviews now. But how low down in the strata of the average trendy, authoritarian, mental patient, cult member, liberal do they realize this is about destroying civilization? Gavin, you've got compoundmedia.com. Twitter is Gavin_McInnes, McInnes. We salute your wonderful work. You've got the Gavin McInnes show that is on Eastern time, many days right up against us at the same time, which I think is just wonderful because I could care less. It's attack on all fronts. Thanks for popping in with us today, Gavin. What is going on here?
Well, here's the big question is, how much of this sabotage has an agenda? Like, what are they trying to do? And, of course, there's the theory that it's all about destroying civilization, destroying Western cultures so they can rebuild something new. But I'm starting to think that what's really going on here is just sabotage. Like, I think George Soros' father, was on his deathbed. And he just said to George, just go make a huge mess. Ugh. And then he died, and George went, all right, I'm just going to throw money at sabotage. I don't think there's an agenda here. I think it's just malicious. It's just malicious discontent.
I agree with you. They set up a system to rot the submass to make us servile idiots, but it's affecting them in blowback. And now the program has gotten out like zombies out of the underground base, and it's just wreaking havoc where the most radical, stupid ones are now commanders as they have taxpayer-funded systems dumping Drano in their eyes and having taxpayers pay for them and their arms and legs chopped off to live in little boxes. And folks, if you're a new viewer, this is the new trendy stuff to do. I mean, how far will it go, Gavin?
Well, it will go until we discipline them. It's almost like a crazy girlfriend that wants to get slapped. And I've noticed when I'm in my community, which is Hipstersville, Brooklyn, I live in Williamsburg, and when I wear my Trump shirt, I've noticed there's this strange sort of capitulation where they sort of bow their heads and accept that I am the alpha in this situation. So I think that these far-left nut bars that are sabotaging our culture don't really want to sabotage it. It's like a child acting out. And you know,
they're betas that want to be put in their place.
They want a timeout. And it's our job to do that. And that's what we're doing with Compound Media. That's what you're doing in InfoWars. We're saying, I know you want to get slapped. Here's a slap.
Sometimes a girl needs a good smack. Which I don't actually believe in that, but that's a famous quote from Sean Connery. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, they really honestly don't want to take over. And look at what they do, too. They say, okay, I don't like the patriarchy. I don't like white males. I don't like cis, whatever we're called this week. And they go, and you go, all right, because guys are pretty, us cis white males are pretty open-minded. We go, all right, well, what do you got? Maybe I do suck. And they go, it's called Sharia law. And you go, that's what you're going to replace me with? Something that was me 500 years ago? The Salem witch trials, we're going back to that? No, we're not doing that. That's what's crazy here is they don't have a plan B. They want to eradicate Western tradition. They want to blow up conservatism. They want to destroy the family, the patriarchy, marriage, all that stuff. And you go, wow, you must have a great plan if you're sabotaging.
They're like, no, we'll replace it with caveman patriarchy with a bunch of inbred psychopaths cutting women's genitals off and putting beekeeper outfits on them and all murdering each other. Why is the left so in love with radical jihadists?
Because they feel guilty that they haven't done anything with their lives, and it makes them feel bad about themselves. And who makes you feel bad about yourself? Your dad. So all my anger is now going to be directed towards daddy. Everyone who looks like dad is evil. And I'm going to discredit dad so I don't feel bad that I took mass comm at NYU and put myself $60,000 in debt.
Exactly. They've got worthless educations, and now they've weaponized it to make people so mentally ill and so confused and you know, obsessed with brown paper bags or that somebody's having a costume party that they don't realize they've been totally screwed over. Exactly.
The lunatics want to run the asylum, but we're telling them, trust me, if I let you run the asylum, you're all going to die. Piggy's going to get the conch shell like in Lord of the Flies, and he's going to get brained with a big rock. Trust me, you're better off with me in charge because I've been doing this for 250,000 years.
That is what's crazy, though. Where they're leading us is Road Warrior with, like, literal warlords driving around in armored vehicles with heads mounted on the front, with women in bikinis and chains, with Slayer playing. I mean, that's where this goes in, like, 10 years if they keep going this direction.
It is, and the fact that Bernie Sanders is so popular, do you know what socialists do to gays? Do you know what these totalitarians do to creative types, to artists, to comedians? You know, you'll be the first to go. They like me. Islamists like Islamophobes like me because we have balls, we're alphas. The first to go is the gays and the artists and you. Not you, Alex Jones, but you, the guy who is pro-Islam. I mean, we just had Eagles of Death Metal. They were...
Oh, yeah, let's talk about that.
89 people killed at that concert, right? The guy, the singer of the band, he says to me that he's suspicious of the security, he's suspicious of Islam, he's suspicious of Arabs, Arab money, and now he's backtracking because it's killing his band. They're having shows canceled because they dared to question the narrative. And what's fantastic about it is, in the interview, he said to me, you ever read George Orwell? You ever read Animal Farm? He goes, as soon as someone questions the narrative, they all become bleeding sheep. And then, after saying that, exactly what he said happens. The bleeding sheep start canceling their shows. And now, Jesse Hughes is a pariah. He's actually mad at me. We're not friends anymore because I got him in this mess. And I go, don't get mad at me, get mad at the mess.
They're the ones going after your free speech. Oh, we're so sorry that radical jihadis came and shot everybody and was, you know, all this garbage. No. Now that he didn't, that everybody didn't grovel properly, he's got to have his shows canceled.
A woman stepped in front of him. She got shot in the face. Her jaw exploded. She's dead. He had shrapnel of teeth and bone in his face. He had to get stitches. They had to pull teeth out of his face. And we are sitting here telling him that we, quote unquote, disagree. That's what the promoter said, who canceled their show at Rock on Sin, which is like the Coachella.
He's the victim. The West is the victim. The free speech is the victim. And it's the West that empowered women and opened everything up. I mean, I can put it on screen. BBC, communist China kills gay men. All these countries kill them. But then we're supposed to sit here and then let pedophiles have access to our kids, or we're homophobic.
Well, you know what's really going on here is the socialists, the communists, the far left, when they notice a pattern, they commit genocide. So that's why they're so petrified of noticing a pattern, of any sort of discussion of eugenics or biology or any kind of pattern, because they've noticed their boy Stalin, their boy Pol Pot, their boy Hitler. They tend to exterminate the people that notice a pattern. Us, here on the right, with the libertarians, we go, we notice a pattern, we just discuss it. We don't kill anyone. That's what's crazy about the left and the right. We all have our opinions, but the left enforces their opinions to a fault. The right just sits there going, I've noticed a pattern here. That's interesting. And they let meritocracy take over. If you're tall and you're good at basketball, you're in the NBA. The end.
Well, that's right. In fact, they're now, I'm sure you saw the National Review article, I mentioned it, where they're talking to this professor on ABC News like it's normal, going, well, it's very bad to read to your kids because other people don't read to their kids, and it's bad to have private school. And, you know, families actually say, family's something we're not going to get rid of quite yet, but, you know, the state will allow it for now, but we're phasing it out with a straight face. Well, then it's wrong then if you're a 7-foot-tall black guy named LeBron James because, you know, the Lollipop Guild can't beat you at basketball.
It's just a war on, it's funny, you know, info wars. What do we want? We want information. We just want an open discourse. They want to shut down discourse, and I think it's based on revenge. It's based on spite. And there's the Indian Child Welfare Act. I had this Lauren McGill on my show the other day, and this 6-year-old girl, Lexi Page, she's 1.4% Choctaw, and she was ripped from her foster family, her white foster family, at 6 years old, torn from them and thrown to some other family who's loosely related to Choctaws through marriage. And the Indian Child Welfare Act ruined this family. I mean, destroyed her siblings. This poor girl's siblings are having seizures because they're so traumatized by this event. And why are we doing it? It's not to to reunite an Indian family. It's not to right any wrongs. It's just pure revenge. And this spiteful, horrible act is taking white guilt and punishing this family because of what we did in the past. Yes, it was terrible what we did with the Indians. We separated families. That was terrible. But to create legislation that is just pure revenge, it's sick and twisted. And you know who suffers? Lexi Page.
Exactly. It's all about social engineering. Gavin McInnes is our guest, radio TV host, one of the founders of Vice Media. We're going to break. I want to come back and get into some of the angles and issues that you're looking at front and center. But just briefly, is it a sign of weakness in the authoritarian left and this orgy of control that Facebook's openly censoring, denies it, is forced to admit it, that the Federal Elections Commission wants to regulate drugs? That means us next. I mean, really, this is so naked. I'm surprised more on the so-called left aren't repenting and defending the First Amendment, because you can say what you wanted about the left a long time ago. I'm a libertarian. More out of line with them on many cases. But no, they're just like, no, get rid of free speech. We're taking over. That's really scary.
Yes. Well, what we have here is a zenith. We've reached full peak SJW, and this is not their year. You know that zombie song? This will be our year. Took a long time to come. This is our year. And people always ask me, well, where do you get that from? And if you're not watching it every day, you don't really see what is happening with the culture. But right now, these idiots have gone too far. And a great example I always use is the chalkening. Someone wrote Trump in chalk on a university floor, on the ground. Everyone went ballistic. Instead of getting sympathy, more Trump 2016 happened. And Trump and this sort of chalkening, they call it, is a perfect example of how they are done, and it's our turn.
That's right. The minute we start resisting and don't follow their orders is the minute they start to fall, and their orders get so bizarre, so extreme, so insane that we're forced to say, okay, I'm not going to the Alamo Drafthouse for women to use a urinal. It's over, weirdos. We'll be right back. Speaking of the zombies, here they are. By the way, I am the opposite of trendy. Okay, let's just get that out there, that I pay no attention. But most people who are really trendy and cause the trends don't pay attention. And of course, I'm now learning more about Gavin McInnes just as I've been watching him for 6 months. And it obviously, has a big buzz going. He's had big buzzes before. Started Vice. I was reading here, he's known as the godfather of hipsterdom, and then left Vice in 2007, I guess, because they were not truly hip anymore. And that's my deal. He looks just like the Russian Tsar, the one that looked like the British king, back in World War I. I mean, he could be a body double. I guess he was born in England. But look, he looks good with that beard and that mustache. He pulls it off. He's the guy that started it. In fact, I was just Googling. I didn't know that. But now everybody's got the beard, and my only issue is, if you can't pull it off, don't do it. But there's Gavin McInnes, Nicholas II, Tsar of Russia. I'm sure that's not the first time you've been told this. Hey, I got to go to him in a moment because I got to plug at least once this hour. I already skipped a break with Ron Paul. Buy our products. They'll blow you away. The best water filters, the best non-GMO seeds, the best game-changing nutraceuticals. This hippopotamus lost 70 pounds on X2 and Super Male Vitality. Super Male Vitality is back in stock, 2 months sold out, because it's hard to get the herbs and cold press them and just keep them in stock, and we're not changing the formula, but it's a big problem. It's sold out 6 months out of the year. It's sold out a few months and we get more. We're trying to up the production. But it is that good. It's kind of like certain vintage wines or certain years. You just run out. And it's like wine. It blows people away. InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139. Free shipping on orders $50 or more. $10 off when you, or 10% off when you sign up for auto ship. So, InfoWarsLife.com.